I had stayed for 20 hours, exactly 20 hours, and I knew I need to come back here. I need to somehow live here. This is the coolest place I've ever seen. My name is Axel. I happen to be living in Svalbard, and this is the best place I know. We are in Longyearbyen, the most northern proper settlement in the world. That way and then cross over and look around. So I was sitting in my hotel room, just going to the laptop, how to move to Svalbard. And all of the answer was just, no, you can't. It is super difficult to move to Svalbard. Right. It's about 10:30, 10:35-ish. And it's still bright outside. So in late spring, it just becomes bright because the sun will be up all day and it will just be bright all day, all night, 24/7. And the sun will not set until mid-August.
How do you manage to sleep?
Very good blinds on your windows. Otherwise, you're not sleeping and the entire day-night cycle just gets completely thrown off. It was the nature, the environment. I realized that I need to move here. There's a lot of wildlife, although not very many different kinds. So you have walruses, it's also Arctic foxes, and of course polar bears, what Svalbard is the most known for. I'd like to go on a hike at least once a week, preferably 2 or sometimes 3. I'm gonna check what wind direction we have. This wind direction is actually very important here. It can, even if there's very little wind. At least our lunches will be this, and then we will cook proper dinners after we've set up camp. But we end up eating quite a lot of this stuff while out on long trips. So this is the polar bear sign. This is a sign that says if you pass this point, you can expect to get into polar bear territory.
Why are you carrying a gun?
So in the rare event that we were to meet a polar bear, then we do need some way of defending ourselves.
And have you seen a polar bear?
I've seen 4 polar bears. At quite some distance, not close enough to need to worry about anything, but so they are definitely around. So once was actually from the school window when the bear was walking on the other side of the fjord. The day after, when we kept going, we basically followed polar bear tracks the entire day because the polar bear had been walking the exact same route that we were going. So we were walking on skis, basically following these polar bear tracks, and they're big. something happens in your group, then you're the ones first on scene. And the emergency responders can be more than 40 minutes away.
We have to go through some practical tasks outside, like digging and helping people that are like in danger.
More of a thing is wind in the valleys, because you can have not very much wind, but the valleys are quite deep and there are no trees or any other vegetation to stop the wind. So you can have almost no wind at all in one valley, but the next valley over is basically a storm. So just a half a degree difference in the global temperature will have multiple degrees difference in Svalbard. It's very visible with how much the glaciers are pulling back and how much the glaciers are melting. So it starts getting darker in August and September, and in November, I think it's about mid-November, then it's just completely pitch black until March, February, March, and it's just eternal night. The sun never crosses the horizon. I think that the person who would be lonely here probably would also be lonely on the mainland. It's an extremely social space in the school, and the town is surprisingly social as well, because it's a small town and you don't really have the option of going into a big city, because the big city is on the mainland. There is nothing else here. It feels like this Antarctic research station, but it's like a village. It's the same people here all the time. So if you happen to not be vibing with the people that are here, then you can't really go looking for others, because there are no others. Hello!
Actually, not so surprised, because it's within him, but I know he likes these kind of areas and the outdoors activities.
And wintry activities,
Yes.
Adventures, I would say.
Do you miss him when he's so far away?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. And we thought he was coming home now in May.
Yeah, it's a bit mixed. I've been loving my year here. I've been loving my time in Longyearbyen and in Svalbard. So hopefully I manage to get a job doing tour guiding. That'd be super rad. I would love to find a way to be able to stay here in Longyearbyen and just continue exploring Svalbard like I have been.